You're watching the Green Machine live, and this is the post-match reaction. Well, it seems that a dire game has brought down the end of a dire era. Let's be honest, in Irish football at the moment. It's a bit of it's a shame it's ended this way. The manager Stephen Kenny has just completed a lap of honour, and he got a warm reception, to be fair, which was quite polarising to what he got before the game kicked off, which was actually a smattering of booze. So there you go. David Dunn here, of course, live from Lansdowne Road for the final game of 2023 for the Republic of Ireland, the final game for Stephen Kenny, and perhaps the final game for James McLean, who came off as a sub and got a round of applause. I think he came off in the 70th minute there, and he got a fantastic ovation. Seems to be a weird thing going on in the corner over there. I think it's just kids being kids. Anyway, as per usual, we are Irish Football's most interactive podcast. We want to hear from you. I'm going to be live here for the next few minutes before I get me chipper and then go back home to London tomorrow. Tell us what you thought. Did you watch it? Where did you watch it? If you did, were you here? Are you on your way home? What do you think? Yeah, it was pretty dire, really. 1-1 between the sides. I mean, we got the score there. Of course, the boys in black took the lead through some fortuitous defending on an Irish side of things, really. Sykes picking the pocket, and then Adamides sliding home for his third goal for the Republic of Ireland. Very well taken, actually. And it looked like we were playing on a counter. Mikey Johnson, who hasn't, I think he's played 30 minutes this season for Celtic, his club, obviously had a point to prove to show his manager, Brendan Rodgers, what he could do and to remind him what he offers. And, he's doing quite well, but New Zealand were poor. Don't forget, this is a side at 103, in the world, in the FIFA rankings. And they were kind of just standing back and sort of letting him carve right through them. But then that kind of, for about half an hour, we seemed to huff and puff, didn't really do much other than the goal, and it just got a bit worrying. And as per usual, we start well. It's a theme to Stephen Kenny era, isn't it? We start well, and then all of a sudden, we allow the other team back into it, and they came on at us. There was a great shot by Singh. Got me a sheet here. By Sarpreet Singh, the number 10, he just cut inside onto his left, and it was a fantastic save from Queven Gallagher. Was going in top corner. You thought, that's not good. Half-time whistle goes. Travers comes on for Gallagher. Fair enough. Travers needs a bit of time. So it's just very unfortunate recall from his loan at Stoke for 2 games. And it just continued. I mean, what did we expect, really? This was an end-of-season friendly. It was a damn squib, played in front of 26,000 fans, 26,517 fans to be exact. It was a nothing game, really. Loads of people, let's be honest, loads of people were supposed to come here. They get 41 tickets, 1,000 tickets were sold, but so many people, just didn't show up. I gave my season ticket to somebody. I don't even know if they've shown up. I'm not going to slag him off too much because I'm staying in his gaff tonight, so... it just really meant it's kind of pointless in a way. And I know it sounds terrible because James McLean's been a great servant for the Republic of Ireland, probably deserved a bit better, but what do you expect? It's a Tuesday night. Irish international team, it's at a really low ebb right now. The association's in turmoil, the team's in turmoil. It's just a sad way for it to all end, but and of course we're out of the competition, out of the Euros, never really in it. It's just a really sad time. And then of course their goal. I mean, they had a chance. Mark Garbach, the lad from NAC Breda in the Eredivisie, he had a good chance on the 49th minute actually, and the 2 lads, Doherty and Duffy, were just kind of standing off him, Omo Bombadeli. And Duffy were kind of catching flies, just kind of standing back off him. Another theme of the Kenny era. And he misses an absolute hitter. But 10 minutes later, he didn't miss, did he? And yet again, it was Doherty and Duffy standing off him. And then, you give a professional footballer who's playing at a decent level, and the Eredivisie is a decent level, you let him to pick a spot. Travers had no chance. I just kind of kept coming on and on and on. Kadachi had he hit a great shot from 30 yards out. Travers, yet again, doesn't look comfortable when he plays for Ireland. Parries it right into the path. Actually hit off Shane Duffy and went in, but luckily he was offside. So yeah, two teams, 158 in the world, ourselves, 103rd in the world, New Zealand. And it looked like New Zealand were the better team. It's just disappointing. It really is bad. In fact, the biggest cheer of the night, other than James McLean coming off, was actually at the very end where a young lad ran onto the pitch, which is actually another theme. Lots of themes here tonight of the Stephen Kenny era, people running on the pitch. I mean, it was funny, I suppose, but he shouldn't do it, really. But they got him in the end. But, I mean, he did really well, actually. He got really, really far. Got some of it on video, actually. But, yeah, very boring game. Really awful style. 4-3-3, just kind of poetic. Kenny goes out on the 4-3-3. The 4-3-3, he, promised to give us, that Mark Canham demands as a technical director. And it just didn't do much, to be fair. It wasn't great. Andy Moran, though, coming on, making his debut for the Republic of Ireland senior team. Delighted for him. But coming into that, it's not much. It's not much for him. He probably would have been better suited for the under-21s, who were very unfortunate, down in Turner's Cross, actually, to draw 1-1 with the Italians. Really unfortunate with that. But anyway, well, that's enough of me going on about it. Tell me what you think. What do you think of that, lads? I want to hear from you. We're going to be live for the next few minutes anyway. But tell me. I want to hear from you guys out there. Where are you watching from? This is going to be funny. And of course, if you feel a bit, you don't really want to tell me what you think tonight, we do have a live. Need a coffee after that. We do have a live review of the entire window. And it'll be myself, Martin, and Nick tomorrow night. Plane journey permitting. Anyway, right. First comment coming from Michael Cooney on Facebook. Did we expect anything else? Not really, Michael. Dead rubber. The deadest of dead rubbers was the article I wrote a few days ago. And it was pointless. We were out against the Dutch. We knew we weren't going to beat that Dutch team. They played us out of canter. Then he had this game. I mean, it's New Zealand. I think, if I remember the last time when we played New Zealand 4 years ago, that was the first game in 2 years because they had an issue with corruption. Funny enough. And they shut the whole thing down. But no, it was as we expected. 26,000. Cold Tuesday night. Awful. Brandon Walsh. Now we know why Amma Bombadeli can't get a game for Forest. Yeah, there was an interesting one there, Brandon. I'm not sure if you saw it. Where was it? I made my note. I do actually make notes, I do actually treat it with a bit of respect. But he tried to run and he bounced off Lewis. he tried to have the ball, goes for it, and he just bounces off Lewis and actually gave the ball away. And we almost conceded the winner. Yeah, he wasn't great, was he? But I mean, none of them were great. It was just very simple passing. Sykes was good. He looked lively. And obviously Johnson had a point to prove as well. But it was just very cumbersome from the team. And you have to remember, these lads, none of these lads want to get injured. Domestic season, it's a nothing game. Domestic season starts up again at the weekend. Not one of them wants to get injured for their clubs. Michael Cooney again. How are you, Michael? When it comes to the FEI, there's no guarantee this is Kenny's last game. I say it is, Michael. To be fair, I mean, you could read in the manager's notes. He was even there. He's doing a lap of honour, and he got a very good reception, actually. To be fair, which I was happy to see. I mean, he did get booed at the beginning. Fair enough. Unfortunate, but now he's walking around there, and yeah, I've never seen him do that before. It's not even an end of season thing either. He knows he's done, which you can't really argue with either. Graham, how you doing, Graham? Lads on holidays, how bad was it? Heard he brought Moran on after 75th minute. Glad he's going, if that is the case. Very true, Graham, and it was awful. Absolutely awful. No impetus, no aggression. Fair enough, as an end of season friendly yet again. And yeah, it was just really, really bad stuff. And okay, we were passing around. We looked all right. You see him, the 103rd in the world. You should be able to pass it around them. Jason Fitzsimmons has to be Doherty's last game. Give Sykes a go at right back or Festy. Yeah, I think Festy was out injured. Anyway, Sykes, right back. Wouldn't be against that if you're going to plays with right wing back. He came off and he was injured, and he got a few boos actually. His only moment really the first in the game was a really bad miss. Actually, he did well. It was a turn, but I mean, he did it in stages, didn't he? Turn in the box, hits it miles wide. I mean, feet wide, several feet wide. Then he went off injured, and Alan Brown came on and finished the game as right back, and nobody cared. Nobody cared, and I don't like to see players injured, but yeah, nobody cared when Doherty went off. Trev Joyce, they should have won. New Zealand, I presume. I presume you mean New Zealand, Trev. Michael Cooney, far too common under Kenny. Yeah, everything about tonight was far too common. The strange substitutions, the strange. I mean, what did you make of James McLean not getting the captaincy on his last game for Ireland? Although I don't think it will be his last game for Ireland. No, you know, that's a strange one, isn't it? Surely you give it to him. It's a nothing game. Give him the captaincy. But he gave to Shane Duffy. Nothing against Shane Duffy, by the way. But you know, it's McLean's night, and it was nice. He actually got a guard of honour towards the end there. So yeah, it was fair play. Yeah, all very nice. McGunneth, how you doing, McGunneth? Blessed that we got away with a draw. No excuse for an Irish team to struggle against New Zealand unless there is an oval ball or a cricket bat involved. That said, Mike Johnson impressive again. Very true, McGunneth. Hopefully he has given Brendan Rodgers plenty of food for thought tonight. He was excellent. But, you know, he's not fully fit. He's only played 30 minutes, lacking serious match sharpness. But he's been a real coup for us, I think. I think he's got a very bright future for us. He probably won't start. He's probably going to be like a super sub, like a bit of a Stephen Hunt type player. But you know, he will have his purpose. Denador Gonder. Second half, New Zealand were clearly better and could have won the game. Very alarming. Yet again, though, it's just a reoccurring theme, isn't it, under Kenny? You know, bright start, poor finish, you know, just fall away, no aggression, no impetus. And yet again, it was a nothing game. And look, there's a bunch of players who don't want to play for the manager. They know it's his last game. They don't want to get injured for the clubs the weekend. It's a recipe for procrastination and a recipe for what, and exactly what we saw. A nothing performance. Marty Ray. Hopefully that's that now, and we can move on. The Kenny era has been an unmitigated disaster. It's had, I mean, it'll be a pod for another day. But yeah, it's kind of finished the way you'd expected here tonight. Just a big damn squib, really. There were flashes. There were flashes. I know Dave McGuinness is probably going to come on now and have a go at me for saying that. He's there. But there were good flashes. And it's just finished in a very disappointing way. But yeah, just very strange, really. James McLean not getting the armband anymore and getting 75 minutes. What's the point? What's the point in that? Yeah, mad. Michael Cooney, the teams ranked lower than us are even better than us. Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams that are ranked lower than us are technically more proficient than us. That's not a new thing, unfortunately. Darren Sweeney, best night for a long time. Kenny's final game. Celebration from Darren Sweeney. Gunneth, Kenny should have been gone after the first Luxembourg game, if not the Andorra friendly a couple of summers ago. Not his fault. We all think we could do a job, but it was always too big for him. I don't agree with that. I mean, people go on about how we lost to Luxembourg. We did also beat Luxembourg in the same campaign 3-0. Gave him a hiding, actually. But anyway. Ronan Tilly, hey you Ronan. I'll be glad knowing Kenny's officially left the building. He's like an overstaying guest in your house. He won't take the hint that people want him to fuck off. Now Ronan. You never know, he might stay on as interim manager. David Keegan, does that team improve enough to get close to qualifying in 2026? To be honest with you, David, I think so. I think there's enough there. I think it's the spine of a team. Look, Wales got to the semi-final of the Euros in 2016, and they didn't have a great squad. They had a couple of quality. I'm not saying we have a player as good as Gareth Bale, by the way. Although Evan Ferguson has the world in front of him. But we've a good goalie. We have a couple of good defenders. I think. You know, we have a decent midfielder like with Jason Knight, and not a very good Dutch team. Sorry, I think my internet is starting to go there a bit. Here we go. We're back. Sorry. But yeah, no one expected us to waltz through, a very with that group. But it was the way we performed in Athens. It was the way we performed, in Dublin against Greece. It was the game against Gibraltar at home. A better coach can get more out of those players, I believe. There was just no aggression, no impetus, and there's a couple of characters around the camp that really need to be just swept away. I won't get personal. I won't get into it, but who we're talking about, and they need to just be gone. Their attitude stinks. Some of the performances from some of them have been absolutely abysmal. Just sauntering around the pitch, looking like they don't care, looking aloof. And I think with a better coach coming in, who's a stronger coach, bringing in with more discipline and a better attitude, and imparting his message on that team, can do much better than that. And I think we can qualify for 2026, and we can still do playing nice football. Do I think it's going to be like Barcelona or no? You can still play good football with aggression and grit, and that's what we need. That's what we've seriously lacked: aggression. That's why we can see goals from outside the box. No one's pressing the attacker. They just stand back. Oh, take a shot. You give any professional footballer time and space to shoot, 9 times out of 10, they will find a target. That's why we can see these goals, because nobody pushes them. No one pushes out. There's no aggression. Anyway, John Buckley, forget about tonight. It was a nothing game. To be honest, I was more interested in the under-21 game in Cork. So unlucky. So unlucky that game was. They were so good. Lots of lorks. I think I'm saying that right. I think you're a new commenter, lots of lorks. So welcome. Can see why Amabamadeli isn't playing at first. He was miles off tonight. He was. I mean, the lad's got ability. He's very comfortable on the ball. But yeah, I mean, we don't see what's going on in training. But he looked way off. But it was good of Kenny to give him a much needed start. Remind Steve Cooper what he's missing. I kind of backfired tonight, didn't I? Newark, that was poor. Truly, this is like the former Taoiseach, the end of Kenny. Oh, Jesus. Was Team Kenny. Now I say, was Team Kenny. Now I say, good riddance. Yeah, I agree with you there, Newark. McGunneth, that said, people should remember that he lives here and go easy on the insults and personal criticism. There's a person behind the job. And that's the thing, look, he's a very decent man. Stephen Kenny, I've met him. And I'm glad it didn't get too personal. He got his lamp of honour. He deserved that. He's given it his all. He just wasn't up to it. But he's a very decent man. He's a very nice man. And there was a moment between himself and James McLean. Now, James obviously chose to be quite vocal about why he's quit for now. Or stepped aside for now. But there was a lovely moment between him and Stephen Kenny, and he's a lovely man, and he's a decent footballing man. So yeah, I'm glad it hasn't got too personal. And the press haven't gone in on him like they went in on Stan back in 2007. So thankfully we've moved on from that. Graham Farrell, how you, Graham? Are we allergic to closing balls down? Max Mata had Doherty and then Brown on toast when he came on. We have been terrible under Kenny. Be interesting to see who gets it. I would love to see us play football actually quicker and intensity off the ball. We're way too passive offensively and defensively. 100%, Graham. That's what I've been saying. That's why we can see so many balls outside the box. You're giving them time to shoot, and they'll get on target. And I felt sorry for Mark Travers actually. He needed a good game, but even then he looked a bit nervy. But yeah, that comes from the coach. That absolutely comes from the coach. The aggression. We need it. Had to be more aggressive. Eddie Dingle. I don't know who was a bit snide with Johnson in that interview. Didn't hear it, Eddie. Oh, by the way, if Stephen Kenny is on, please give us a shout, guys. I'm speaking to you, so I can't hear what he's saying. Joseph Lennon. Terrible to see he's outplayed by a team at the same level of Pats. Oh, I'm a Pat. Well, I would be a Pats fan. My mate Dave, if you're watching, he won't be happy with that. But yeah, 103rd in the world, and he outplayed us for large swaths of that game. Martin Shields, New Zealand ranked 102nd in the world, and they were very comfortable against us. Also love the jobs you do, lads. Cheers and fair play to you all. Thank you, Martin. Do appreciate that. And we love doing this, by the way. Genuinely love doing this. And I wouldn't miss it for the world. Brian Ford. That game was deader than dead rubber. You see the World Cup between already eliminated sides in the group stage. It was. Darren O'Grady, Kenny, a lovely guy, but for fuck's sakes, holding off for a lucky draw sums it up. And shame he couldn't at least break free from his last game. Yeah, I know. Dreadful game, a fitting end for a truly dreadful era in Irish international football. This is the lowest. It's probably the lowest. But is this worse than 2018? I'm not on about like the whole era. Obviously, Martin O'Neill got us to the Euros. It was actually on this day, 2018, he got fired. But that year of 2018, because look, that was he'd obviously got hurt by the press, Martin O'Neill, and he was like, someone asked him, "As your luck ran out?" Basically, because he's Ireland's luckiest manager, apparently. But that year, 2018, was abysmal. Is this worse than 2018 or on par? Because I remember 2018, which actually started Lansdowne Road, ironically, was really, really poor. I don't know. What do you think? Joseph Lennon, I thought Johnson's end product was poor. Yeah, I mean, he is not match fit. But his runs were excellent. But yeah, you're right. There was a couple there. He got into some great positions. But yeah, needs to work on the end product. But that will come with more match practice. Joseph Lennon, I know it's a friendly, but you need to batter these teams to create momentum and winning mentality. But it's the problem though, Joseph. They know the manager is on the way out. They know he's gone. They know he's leaving. Darren O'Grady, under 21s unlucky against Norway and Italy tonight. Moore may well have made a difference, only for him to get 10 minutes against New Zealand. Got to question the wisdom of that. I would question the wisdom, but I can't find any. Graham Farrell, I actually cheered when Doherty went off. Graham. I say a few people did, actually. Brandon Walsh, why couldn't Kenny straight swap Moore for McGrath? Instead, he takes off our most creative player in Johnson and puts McGrath on the wing. Just more manners from Kenny. I can't disagree with you. His substitutions have just been so bad. I think New Zealand manager is getting pictures with his kids down there. One of the players. Anyway. Dara Cogden? I do apologise, Dara, if I'm mispronouncing that. Hi there. Dara in Pressapolis here. How you doing, Dara? I think you're a first-time commenter, so welcome to the Green Machine. Left field choice, but bear with me. What about Joe Kinnear? Just check Wikipedia and he's still alive. Unfortunately, Dara, he is still alive, but he is battling dementia at the moment. Unfortunately, I think you're about 30 years too late on that one. Graham, watching from Sevilla. How you doing, Graham? We didn't watch first time. Didn't watch first time in years. Fed up, to be honest. I think the fan base are at such a low ebb in regards to appointments for manager position. 1 Carsley, 2 Poyet, 3 Keane. Well, Pat Dolan doesn't want Carsley. Says he's nearly 50, and who's he managed? I think he's the perfect choice, to be honest. Martin Shields, McLean's the Terminator. He'll be back. I think he will. I think you're going to get an interim manager, and he's going to come in and he's going to make sure that the next manager, if he's diligent, is going to make sure the next manager has all the options to choose from. And there will be nobody here. And who do I see coming up the steps, making his way slowly with a bag? He bears no gifts. Then what are you coming up here for then?
No, just say hello.
I'm just joking. Deaglin, how you doing?
Right.
Good man. We're going. Do you want to say hello?
Sorry, lads. What's up?
That's Deaglin. He's got a bag.
And Toblerone.
And he's got a Toblerone. Look at this. Way. Thank you. Good man. What do you think of that, Deaglin?
Awful.
Yeah.
Given the level of opposition, yeah, awful.
It was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'll see you all in March. So.
See you all in March. There you go. That's it, Deaglin. Deaglin, nice one. See you next year, man. Yeah, nice one, pal. See you later. Safe home, yeah?
Same. Everything good.
Good man. Deaglin there. Hello. Deaglin here, who works at the stadium. Sorry. How can you play really good for the first 15 minutes or so and then absolutely terrible for the rest of the game? Shocking. No midfield defence. Poor. Going to find it hard to get a manager to take these on. Wrong captain on the night. I really don't understand any of it. Good luck, Stephen. It's shocking. That's from Jimmy Twomley. Yeah, he's absolutely spot on. Ronan Tilley. FEI need to dig deep money-wise and get a decent established manager in. Gates receipts are dropping like a lead balloon. It won't help to continue to be frugal about caliber of manager they hire. I mean, 41,000 tickets sold, 26,500 show up. That's where it's heading. Graham Farrell, yeah, agree. Johnson, real promising player for us. Build a team around him. He's going to do. Right manager, he's going to do some damage for us. Carl Quinn, end of the road for Kenny, unfortunately. Scanlon has to be an outside bet for next manager. Scallon. Let me see. Who's this guy? Alan A. Scallon. I'm not sure who he is. I haven't got time to check. This is where Nick goes. But Nick's not on tonight, unfortunately. Brian. Forward, that Sligo Rovers fella, Nando, who played for New Zealand, looked like a better defender than the Irish centre-backs over the full 90. Yeah, they were really good. Joseph Lennon, it goes to show how poor our player production has been that McLean got to 103 caps. He looked finished a few years ago in terms of impact, was being an important player for Kenny, given our lack of experience. David Curley, how you, David? Is it harsh to write off the next World Cup campaign and aim towards 2028 instead? Blood in another 20 players and then hire a top coach when we're actually worthy of tournament football. I don't think we should write off the next campaign, to be honest. I think there's enough there. I really do. Sebastian Knowlton. Hey, Sebastian. I fully expected tumbleweeds to go blowing across the pitch tonight. Well, it went blowing amongst the stands a few times. Michael Cooney. Who do we get now? The FAI can't pay for anyone. There's not a lot to choose from, really. Lee Carsley. Reece Masterson. Top 3 manager contenders. Lee Carsley. Dave Brandy, Taxi for Kenny, Neil Lennon next. Oh, God. Frank Gowan, Roy Keane in ASAP. Roy Keane, really? Do you not remember him at Ipswich? God, that was 10 years ago. Michael Cooney, falls out with players, though. That's the only thing. That's on Roy Keane. He's fall out himself, for Christ's sakes. Joseph Lennon, how you, Joseph? David, my head says that we haven't a hope of work or qualification, but my heart says, come on, you boys in green. Good man, Joseph. Graham, next year will be terrible for the FAI if they don't get this appointment right. With no competitive games till September next year, McLean is done. Very lucky to be a Centurion. Never want to see Doherty again. There's a few people feeling that. Pat Roach, Kenny getting his debut stats up with that Moran call-up. 24? I think it's 24 debutants now. 24, 26. I think it's 24. Mikey O'Connell, how you doing, Mikey? Can I play possession-based football when the players' number are 1, not good enough, and 2, are not comfortable playing that system? Go back to long ball or counter-attack until those players come through. That's a point. We are now blooding players into play the style of football, but it takes a while. I think a real eye-opener was when we played France here, and I was watching it, and those boys were so comfortable off the ball, being on the ball. They were so good. Just, the weight of pass, it was phenomenal. Who could the FAI reasonably afford to get in, realistically? Lee Carsley. Martin Prendergast, great viewing, Dave. What do you think of this? What do you think is the highlight of the Kenny tenure? Voice of the fans looking forward to seeing a new manager in charge and how some of these young players develop. I think the highlight has to be the Scotland game, but even then, we could have been very easily 2-0 down before we got the first goal. I remember Duffy actually made a mess of he made a mess of it, didn't he, in the box twice, and he almost scored. One was a miss, I think one was a save. And then, right there, we took a 2-0 lead. But I think Scotland 3-0. In fact, I'd actually probably argue that the 2-1 that we lost in Scotland was probably a better performance, if I'm being honest. Darren Cogden again. I have to be honest, a lot of those young players who made a breakthrough during Kenny's first year in charge have stagnated at club level. Some have. They haven't really progressed the way we would have liked them to progress. And Troy Park being one of them. But, hopefully he'll find his feet in the Eredivisie. Alfie Connolly, can't wait till Lee Carsley come in. Just hopefully we can get him in to see Lee Carsley in, as Alfie corrects himself. By the way, Carsley is never getting an England job, even if he's being told that he's surrounded by the wrong people. I believe he has unfinished business with Ireland. Hopefully Caban can have a word. I agree. I think the Stephen Kenny idea in terms of playing good football, I think is correct. I think it's the right way to go about things. It's just he would be an upgrade. No disrespect to Stephen Kenny, but here's a guy who's part of the English setup. It's an elite setup, part of Man City, an elite setup as well. This guy knows how to deal with elite players, and those under 21 lads, some of them are elite. So I think he would be able to impart that message and impart that wisdom and that experience. And he's also going to be media savvy, because you have to be media savvy in the modern game. Unfortunately, Stephen Kenny wasn't. Martin Shields, St. Pat's FAI Cup winners. I'm guessing the previous comments about us were from a twice beaten finalist in 3 years. Bows are a county council rent by Team Atala. Oh, Jesus. We're getting parochial now. Joseph Lennon, I'm a massive Pats fan. We'd give New Zealand a good game, but Pats shouldn't match the national team. I'd fancy us to beat that Irish team tonight. True. Ronan Tilly. New Zealand had a Sligo Rovers player in the starting 11 tonight. They did. And he played well also. Darrell O'Connell. How you doing, Darrell? Just made it to the Dart, northbound. Kenny clapped and waved the singing section by. He seems to have admitted defeat. Emotional, but change needed. Safe home to you, Darrell. Darren O'Grady. James McLean, interview North East showing class on why he will be missed. If only his passion could be matched with tactical nous of our abilities and limitations. And I believe, Connor, are you leaving us?
Yes, I'm with the head downstairs.
He's going downstairs. There he is. Say hello, Connor.
It's good to make my first appearance on the Lansdowne Road.
Yeah.
Grim watch. That was a grim watch, wasn't it?
It was a very bad one.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. At least that's the end of that.
That's the end of that.
It can only go up from here, can't it?
You'd be surprised. I think you give the FAI too much credit. Then we went from Brian Kerr to Steve Staunton. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but still, like it can't get any worse than this, can it? Surely.
It can.
No,
it always can. Yes, it can.
I don't think so.
Connor, thank you, mate. Safe home. Safe back to Liverpool. Nice. That's Connor from the Republic of Ireland player tracker. Give them a follow on Twitter. They do God's work on there. And actually, you're followed by most of the journalists, bar one, aren't you? We won't name the journalist he's not followed by. Someone will comment and they'll rat Connor out. If you want to know who that is, if you see me in person, I'll tell you. But I won't mention it on this. A mutual friend. But this is not the lowest. We have the spine of a squad now. Martin O'Neill mixed second round were really bad. But we can get Carsley known the FAI. We'll probably get Tad Lasso. That's from Graham. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the difference with O'Neill, and I know O'Neill was a better manager, and he got us 2 Euros and all of that. But I just think when O'Neill left, when he was fired, there was nobody. Like, we had a poor squad.
I'll leave you there.
Nice one, Connor. Safe home, mate.
Hopefully I'll see you at the next one.
See you at the next one. See you in March. And yet again, Republic of Ireland tracker. Give him a follow on Twitter. But yeah, Martin O'Neill. The squad was in poor. We just lost Declan Rice, and he had retired Glenn Whelan, and then tried to replace Glenn Whelan with Cyrus Christie. We're not at that level. There's some really good players there. So I think Kenny will. It's going to sound weird here, but I think he's almost left us in a better position squad-wise than he found us in. Just saying. Probably get shot for that. Excuse me. Darrell O'Connor, even in friendly against a shite nation, Matt Doherty is Casper the Ghost. He was so poor. Martin Prendergast missed Ogbenny. Martin Prendergast says we missed Ogbenny. He wants me to read it in full. No. Graham, don't mind Pat Dolan. He hasn't managed to leave a buffet early in his career. Oh, Jesus. Eddie Dingle, beg Dennis O'Brien to go halvesies on the wage again. Yeah, we'll probably get Rafa Benitez in or someone like that. Darrell O'Connor, you also think McLean would have been captain and at least left alone to the 80th, 85th minute if fit. Knowing him, he could have played to the 90th minute. That man is probably the fittest person in Ireland right now. Why he wasn't made captain, I don't know. Is that why McLean went in on the comments afterwards? Because, or is that why he didn't get the captaincy because of the comments he made afterwards? To tell you a Donegal, as Martin Prendergast would say. Sebastian Knowlton, what's David O'Leary up to these days? He is on Twitter mostly. He's been out of football for years. He was over in the Middle East. You can forget about him. Glenn Forbes, was at the match tonight? Over as my dad isn't doing well. I'm very sorry to hear that, Glenn. Our best wishes to you and your father. It was nice to be there despite the result. We switched off after the goal. Would have loved to have said hello, but was last minute. No problem. Glenn, all the best wishes to your dad from everyone here at Lansdowne Road, the Green Machine. Michael Kenny's on now. Oh, God. Damien Bruder. Chris, you should be given a chance. He's a very capable coach. I don't think it's what we need. Not an exciting crop of players. Excuse me. You have to remember Chris Hughton. He got 3 teams promoted. he's very, very diligent. But when he got him to the Premier League, he was relieved of his duties. The football was absolutely dreadful. And I don't think that's what we need here. Listen, just think back to McCarthy first era, especially around the latter part of his first era. It was aggressive and it was good to watch, and we were a very good side back then. It can be done. I know there's different players, but I'm a dreamer. Frank Allen, yes, but a winner, and he will get after some of these players, and the young players will look up to him. Is that you're talking about Roy Keane, Glenn Forbes. Sykes was live on the wing tonight. He did very well for the first goal. He robbed. Oh, what was his name? Was it Boxall? No, it was Pinnaker, wasn't it? I think I'm saying it right. Pinnaker. He robbed Pinnaker and boom, set up Alameda. Michael Cooney, 34 when Kenny came in. Now we're 58. It's not even the lowest we've been. I think 70 is the lowest we've ever been. That was under Martin O'Neill. Ronan Tilly, Estonia are in the playoffs and we're light years away. Kenny brought us to new depths. I don't think it's down to Kenny. I mean, the rot's been set in for a number of years. I think this is the worst of it, but I don't know. I think we're on an upward trajectory after this. Darren O'Grady, Kenny being interviewed and shocking that nothing has changed. That said, really sad, and you can see his sadness. A good man. Shame he wasn't up to it, and it didn't work out. Graham, do you think we'll have an appointment before Christmas? No, I don't. I think they will take their time on this. Mark Canham, I think, is the guy who decides who it is. So, Graham Farr, look at Crawford with the under-21s. His team makes it up well with the long and the short. Emaku and Armstrong work well up front together and press well together. They have a fantastic chance of qualifying. Yeah, but you have to remember the under-21s under Kenny were absolutely breathtaking and they were brilliant. Let's not forget that. It's a team that went to Sweden, won 4-2, battered them in Talle 4-1, had to go 1-0 down. And it didn't translate very well, did it? So just be careful of that. What was the attendance tonight, Archduke? It was 26,517 after 41,000 tickets were sold. Darren O'Grady, thanks for GM and what you do. Green Machine and what you do. Great to have a forum to share our hopes, fears, loves, and fair play to you lads for running it. You're very welcome, Darren. We're going on to bigger, better things next year. We're going to keep the same. We might have a bit of a name change. Sorry, Miel knows what's running there. Not very well. We might have a bit of an L name change coming up, but the fundamentals are going to stay the same. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep giving you guys, your opinion, because we're not afraid to voice it. We're not afraid to listen to you, even if you disagree with us. We want to hear from you, and I think we're very good at that. Actually, and fair play to the FEI because they know what we're about, and we let you guys have your say. And we want to keep it going. We are the voice of the fans. So always voice your opinion. Just don't be silly. Raymond McInerney, Kenny's a spoofer. Jason Fitzsimmons, good man, Martin. Don't encourage him. That's Martin. Don't encourage Martin Prendergast. For the love of God. Darren O'Grady. Actually, Kenny ended the interview with an appropriate level of dignity and respect. A good man. I hope so, because he is a good man. Reece Masterson. Just watched the Kenny interview. He was emotional, and it doesn't look like he has any future. Not as Ireland manager. He will have plenty of opportunity as a manager, either in this country. I think Lincoln City are after him. He has a future in football. Just maybe, hopefully, it's in Ireland somewhere. Michael Cooney. Ghana lost to Cosmos tonight. No thanks. That's in response to Chris Hughton, who's the Ghana manager. Joseph Lennon, if Chris Hughton, Neil Lennon, anyone of that ilk gets sniffed the job, we need to start protesting in Avistown. 100% Joseph Lennon, I agree there. Martin Shields, I know Kenny wanted us to work, and we all wanted it to work, but it hasn't. Seems a nice man. Wish him the best, but it's over, and he knows it after the interview. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad it hasn't got nasty. I'm really, really glad it hasn't got nasty tonight. Darren Sweeney, hopefully not Roy Keane. Kenny was bad, but Keno will destroy the future of any new players coming into the squad. I don't think his style will suit modern footballers, shall we say. Raymond McInerney. How bizarre if Kenny be still there after Tuesday. Well, next Tuesday, as Raymond adheres to, basically there's a board meeting in Abbottstown and they're going to decide basically whether his contract's renewed. He's actually effectively out of contract, Stephen Kenny. So right now, because we're out of the Euros, but yeah, that's pretty much it. They'll decide next week. And actually, the CEO said, there's no said, oh, I won't have anything to do with that conversation. That'll be for other people on about the future of the Ireland manager. That's in your program notes. If you had the program, head to page 19. Just saying. Not public. It's fitting that the last goal conceded by Kenny's team was from outside the box. That's really, yeah, you're right there. It illustrates his complete inability to learn from his mistakes. It's obviously, you know, it's not something that I'm sure he doesn't want to concede any goals. But when your team's not aggressive, when your team is passive, and your team just stands off, you are going to concede goals outside the box at this level. That's the difference. If you're in the League of Ireland, no disrespect to the League of Ireland, by the way, maybe you can get away with that. I don't know. I don't watch the League of Ireland religiously, so please pardon my ignorance. But you can't do it at this level. You will get punished. It's that simple. These guys, most internationals are pros, and obviously they're all professional, but I mean pros. You give them that space and time, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to hit the target. That's just modern day. That's just this level. Graham, sorry. No to Chris Hughton. Look at Brighton since he left. Look at his tenure at Forest. Football has changed even in the last 5 years. I think we should be exploring counter-attack with our pace. Good point, Graham. And yeah, I think that's absolutely spot on about Chris Hughton. Good man, a good manager, a gentleman, a trailblazer. And he was a terrific player, but no. Joseph Lennon, in my mind, the situation we're currently in sits squarely at the FAI store as the chickens have come home to roost on the years of underinvestment and poor management of the game in this country at all levels. Having a chat with a guy in the press room before I came out here, a lovely fellow from UTV actually, and we were saying how the government, when we got the Euro 2028, because no other, by default, and Leo Varadkar, that was in the April, Leo Varadkar, the Taoiseach, came out and said, it's a great way for us to show off our world-class facilities, a stadium. And it's a beautiful stadium, by the way, Lansdowne Road. It is a beautiful stadium. And then, 2-3 months later, the FAI turned around after putting in a case study, or not case study, but they put a figure on how much Irish football needs to be brought up to scratch. 1 billion euros, world-class facilities. So it's a problem, and I can't see it being improved. And now with the man who was brought in to, stop the scandal, to stop the controversy in the FAI, CEO Jonathan Hill, the man who never, James McLean actually taking a selfie, I think, with his mum. Oh, it's very nice, actually, just looking down. Maybe I'll shout, James, at him. Probably actually run up the stairs and boot me in the face. But anyway, with Jonathan Hill now, the man who's at the centre of the latest controversy, he was actually brought in to avoid controversy. He was a safe pair of hands from the FA because, they know what to do. I mean, to be fair, they do in most cases. But we've lost the funding because of it. So how in the name, and the government are just looking for any reason not to give football in this country any money. And we're just handing it to them on a plate. Don't begrudge the GAA. I don't begrudge horse racing, dog racing, or whatever. I don't. And we shouldn't. We should level up, not level down. But we don't. And we just make it so easy for the government not to give us money. But anyway, it's another rant for another day. Darrell O'Connor. Mick would say, with his humour, it can get worse, but it won't. Optimism for 2024. ST renewed. Season ticket renewed. Sorry, looking forward to more away days. Hard, but best thing ever, supporting the country. It is. I love supporting Ireland. I really do. And I know we're not great at the moment, but I absolutely love supporting this country. I don't live in the country, but the Irish football team, I love it. I've loved it as a kid. I used to be a mad Liverpool fan, but this is my passion. I would be doing this. I have a season ticket, but I get media passes to do this, to try and do something, a bit different for Irish fans. But I love it. Even with the struggles, I love supporting this country. Graham Farrell, well, yeah, I get that, but what I meant is that by that is that the squad is good enough to play that way if they're encouraged to, and we definitely need to ease out some of the old guard. Feel sorry for Kenny, as I wanted it to work out, as he's a decent man. Dennis Grenell, I shouldn't have bothered me whole watching this shite. It cost me €10 via TV Mucho, for fuck's sakes. Where are you watching this tennis, Greno? Graham, can we have more of these lads? Maybe some more discussions around the team. Absolutely, Graham. We do a live stream every Sunday. We do a live stream every week. Some days, just real life gets in the way. But yeah, no, absolutely, Graham. We will do more of these. We want to hear from you guys. But next year we are really going to take things to another whole other level. Shane Brown, why not just announce Carsey the next week? In fairness, FAI have had 2 to 3 months to figure it out. We've all known this has been dying a death. Since Athens, give the fans a lift and a new manager and a few extra months to get to work. Couldn't agree with you more, Shane. Couldn't agree with you more. Derek O'Neill, get Duff in. He has done a fantastic job with Shells. He brings passion and gets fans behind him. I'd hate to lose him with Shells, but I really think he'd bring the passion back and he's very good tactically. I've no doubt he was highly regarded at Celtic when we plucked him. I just don't think it would suit him yet. I mean, he's aged about 20 years. He looks like a 60-year-old Derek at Chelsea. I mean, he's given that club everything. He's given that club absolutely everything, and he has done a brilliant job at Shells. But I don't know, him and the FAI, we saw what happened before. Darren O'Grady, Dave, bit dozy after your coffees in Amsterdam, now sniffing Dublin. Anything to conclude from this, says Darren O'Grady. Cocaine's a hell of it. No, just done well. Unfortunately, punishing works. Real life has been a bit punishing lately. I won't get into it. But it hasn't been easy, shall we say. But that's the way it is. We roll with it. We roll with the punches and we get on with it. And unfortunately, when you've got a very busy personal life and work schedule and other things going on in the background, and you're doing this, you don't get time to sleep. You get a little bit stressed, and unfortunately, you get run down and you get ill. That's all it is. Graham, it will be announced lunchtime tomorrow, I reckon. Kenny's departure. Graham Farrell, Jesus Christ, no, it's too early for him. He's only 2 years into the job with them. That's about Duff. Dave McGuinness, how are you, David? We made yet another team ranked outside the top 100 look better. Pity we didn't. It's go for tonight and pull the trigger a few more times. Too mucho. Pat Scott, I think that's on Duffer. Martin Shields, Dave, you sound like you need a Lemsip. Hot water bottle and a spice bag. Yeah. Do you know, I actually had a lovely sleep last night. First decent sleep I had in weeks. Real life, folks. Real life. What can you do? But thank you, guys, for your concern. Joseph Lennon, they wouldn't stand off in the LOI. Good standard football for years, but the facilities throughout the league grounds are brutal. I will bow to your wisdom, not Joseph. I live in England. I don't get to watch the League of Ireland. I don't even pretend to know, but tend to know I know the League of Ireland. What's going on there? Ray Houghton walking along there. Not public. We don't have many options for the next manager. However, a wildcard choice could be Chris Coleman. His mother's from Ireland and he's a decent tactician with something to prove. I remember him. I used to work at Fulham and he showed up and I was on the road and he pulled up. He was the Wales manager. And he goes to me, it's a car park in here. And I went, yes, it is, Chris. And as I said, I turned around, Chris, you were the manager here for years and a player. You should know this. Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah, no, you're right. Shouldn't I? Oh, God. So maybe not. That is a true story, by the way. I'm that far removed from working in football security. I can actually tell some of these stories now. Graham, Jonathan Hill's tenure has been a disaster, 100%. Getting 20 grand for not taking holidays or working from home, from London, a laptop is Delaneyism. Noel Mooney should have been in that role. 100% agree. Noel Mooney all the way. I love Noel. Sean O'Brien, was there any more talk about the nightmare outside the Owen Cruyff Arena Saturday night? There wasn't, Sean. I do know that there was a UEFA delegate here. I think having a look at how things are done at the Aviva. From what I could tell, the Aviva Stadium is quite smooth coming in, but we're Irish. We do things our own way. And the way it was explained to the UEFA delegate, from what I was told by a source, he was shaking his head going, well, that's ridiculous. Like, how can you do this? And he goes, well, it works. And I don't think, when you look at the state of some of the conditions, like at the foreign grounds, like Athens, Paris, not the Ireland match, Paris, but like obviously the Champions League and some of the rugby going on in France. maybe they could learn a thing or two. Amsterdam, brilliant city, great country. The Netherlands, great country. They do everything brilliantly, except for queuing. They do not know how to queue at all. And it was really, really appalling. Even trying to go to the toilet was a battle. I mean, it was a battle. People were shoving you. It was really, I actually felt like just going in a bottle, sitting up in the press area. So, yeah, we haven't heard any more from that. But, I mean, it's got to stop. Someone is going to get hurt. And it's not right. Irish away fans are fantastic. They don't cause any trouble, Ronan Coogan, any coaches aside the ones quoted in all papers, any Rana ones for the continent. Revy, the guy's name, Renard. But he took a massive pay cut to take charge of the French women's team. I can't think of the name, sorry. But the lads are on about him, but I don't think we could afford him. And I think he's in charge of the French women's side. That's what he wants to do. Graham, Dave, thanks for the content. Would love a live stream with fans, subscribers calling in. Do you know what? That is an idea. That would be fantastic, actually, to have a chat with you guys in a live capacity. Would be fantastic. Just, a bit like a radio phone in. But anyway, listen, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. I'm going to go off to get a chippy now. I don't know. I'm getting a few WhatsApps. I don't know if my mates are waiting for me or they've buggered off. I don't blame them if they have. But listen, thank you so much for your support over this window in Amsterdam, in Dublin. We will be back for a review, a window review tomorrow. It's no holds barred. It'll be Nick, Martin, and myself. And it's just, right, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about the window? No structure. It's a free-for-all. And there's no time limit. We'll just go until the questions stop. That will be tomorrow, live on Facebook and YouTube. And they're switching off the lights at the moment, so I better get out of here. Anyway, guys, listen, thank you very much. Safe home. Good night. God bless. Come on, you boys in green. And I'll see you guys next year. Oh, by the way, hashtag Homer Brag, as you say, this year, for the first time ever, was my first clean sweep of Ireland games. 100% record. Went to every single one of them, home and away. 2019, I went on every trip, but couldn't get into the Gibraltar ground. It was my first one doing Lansdowne Road, so that's a little proud of that one anyway. But listen, I'm proud to be an Ireland supporter. I know things aren't great, guys, but it will get better. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless. We will see you tomorrow. We will be live for another review. So we'll see you tomorrow. And if not, well, I'll see you next year. And I'm trying to find the outro. Here we go. Anyway, good night, guys. God bless.